Chapter 30. The good guys should win in the end. This message is to inform you we have detected the terms of our arrangement have once again been defiled. Your people have increased the amount of raw energy captured by a percentage of 10. Furthermore, you have chosen not to adjust the correct amount of energy allocation. In effect, instead of transferring the expected and arranged 90% to the focus point your people refer to as the moon, you have only transferred 80% of total energy captured. You are expected to correct the allocations of your planets, measuring within an Earth calendar year. Look to the ruins of your ancestors should you need a reminder of what can occur if the arrangement is not met. Message sent from the other station in the moon to all of Director Regis Tan's communications, year 2055. Anderson thumped his sausage like fingers on the steering wheel, in rhythm to the song he chose to play, on his way to the Strategic Defense Task Force office this morning. In light of his success in the last week, he chose the song The Seeker by the band The Who. He found it ironic. David Michael Nash was a seeker of sorts, and the day he finally got the answers he wanted, his life ended. But the good news for Anderson didn't stop there. The moment the final report of the D. Nash and A. Ivy case was submitted, it didn't take long for the SDT to report to the major media outlets they had captured the terrorists who raided the Department of Energy. The UCA and all her citizens could rest easy now that the threat had been dealt with. Not only that, but when he captured Nash and his team, they recovered the laptop the hacker Trace had been working on. The laptop had been handed over to the tech branch of SDT, and they were beginning to wipe, destroy, and delete any information that could be a national threat. Anderson was also being credited on the major news networks as the hero of the story. His long-tenured career with the SDT, being discussed at length by the gorgeous people of major media, only strengthened his resolve. How could anyone call this the wrong side? He was a hero. Nash was a villain, a murderer who attempted to undo the very fabric that kept this world running in harmony. The song ended, and the next random song began playing. It was an upbeat classic rock song as well, but it didn't bring a smile to his face like the first one had. With David Michael Nash reassigned and Ashley Madison Ivy re-educated, Anderson had, in effect, saved his career and reputation. It got even better than that, if you could believe it. Madsen had taken a sabbatical. Following the events at the NP1 site, Madsen put in a request and was granted by Director Laney. Madsen had taken a severe thrashing on this case, and Anderson figured it made sense that the younger agent needed a break. His generation wasn't made of the stuff Anderson's was. He could still remember the last time he saw the smug shithead, sitting in that small bar in Alert, drinking some cheap whiskey. They had to leave for the flight back to Montreal and then to DC, but Madsen wanted to stay. "How about you go the hell on without me? I think I've been in your presence long enough that I could use a breather from your filth, Anderson," Madsen said to him as he took another shot of whiskey. Anderson enjoyed seeing Madsen with the bottle. Who knows? Maybe he will turn out more like Anderson when he comes back. That would make being his partner easier at least. Anderson turned his wheel as he made it to the turn where the SDT parking lot sat. He parked the car, popped some Tylenol for the headache, and struggled his way out of the car. As he made his way through the first level, he smiled and waved at the sexy little secretary at the front lobby. Maybe he would find her employee photo later and use it with the one he had of Ivy in one of his holodeck visits. The elevator pinged to let him know it had arrived at his floor. He walked in and pressed the level that his desk was on. There were a few other agents in the elevator with him, and they all congratulated him on a hard case won. He bathed in the glory of his accolades. For once, Anderson was getting drunk without having to drink booze, although he did have some in his morning coffee. Once he got to his desk, he removed his suit jacket and sat down. He stared at his monitor with a smile. The rest of the year would come and go, and Anderson's yearly strikes would be reset, ensuring him another year of job security. The desk phone started to ring, and Anderson reached to pick it up. "Anderson speaking?" Anderson said. "Anderson, it's Laney. I need you to swing by my office as soon as you can." Director Laney said. "Right, on the way now," Anderson replied. Then hung up. What luck he literally just sat down. He forced himself up, his knee giving him all kinds of feedback. He realized he might have to get that checked out someday soon and made his way to Laney's office. Once he got there, he opened the door Laney was on the phone with someone but waved Anderson in without even looking up. Yep, sounds good then. Yeah, just keep me posted. All right, Laney said, then hung up the phone, now drawing his attention to Anderson. That was quite a case you and Madsen had. Looked bad there for a minute. Yeah, but we are trained for the difficult cases, sir. I'm just glad we were able to see this one end positively, Anderson said with a practiced tone of bullshit. Right. I noticed Madsen took a sabbatical due to the injuries he sustained on the case. How about you, Anderson? Are you still field ready after running across the globe after your one-handed terrorist? The tone in Laney's voice annoyed Anderson. Was Laney trying to make Anderson feel like the case should have been easier than it was? No need, sir. I am ready for work as I ever was, Anderson replied, but he was hoping this wasn't Laney trying to throw a last-minute case at him before the year ended. Laney studied him for a moment. You're a pig, Anderson. I don't like you as a person, if I can speak frankly, Laney said. Anderson's mouth tightened. It's your office, and your task force, sir. You can speak however you want, Anderson said, keeping the growl in his voice to a minimum. Laney smiled at that. There's my point exactly, Anderson. You are slimy, weak-willed, and selfish. The only reason someone like you says it's okay for me to berate you is because of survival instincts. You know, if you really spoke your mind or went about your natural desires, your fat ass would be shipped off to re-education so quickly your head would spin. But you are a follower. Hell, maybe the best follower I've seen. Because you are a follower and self-centered in preserving the thing you call a life, you get the job done. Laney's insults felt like whipping slaps across his cheeks, and Anderson felt the blood rush to his face with angry embarrassment. I think you are complimenting me, so thank you, sir, Anderson said with a measured tone. Yes and no. In truth, tonight I must give a speech on your behalf as a hero to our country for stopping the terrorists who assaulted not only the DOE building, but also attempted to assault an unnamed PowerPlant facility with the intentions of blowing it up. But before I go out in public and sing your praise, I wanted you to know how I really feel. You're disgusting, but you also get the job done when the chips are down. Get out of my office now, please. Laney turned his attention back to his computer. Anderson held his mouth closed tight as he stared at the old man for a moment, then lurched up to his feet and left the office. He was fuming. Leave it to Laney to fuck up a good day and mood. Then he smiled. Tonight Laney had to give a speech about the actions of Anderson. It wasn't a total fuck you to the old man. But tonight, Anderson would tune in to watch Laney talk highly about the accomplishments of Anderson and all he has done for his people and country. Because guys like Anderson, they don't really have to be like the David Nashes of the world. The guys who run around trying to answer all the deep-meaning bullshit questions. He didn't need to be like the Madsens and Laneys of the world, assholes who think they got one on him because they think he's a step behind them in life. Nope. Guys like Anderson, they know what their role is in the world. They find their mark, and they stay on it until it's time to flip the page, and when that time comes, he's ready for it. And most of all, guys like Anderson will fuck you over, even when you think you got them down.